again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to
back.
Uncancer Culture. And we've got a special guest today.
It's the return of the... Oh, wait. No,
we
wait.
have a... it's... Never mind.
It's just
Never mind. It's just the Louie.
It's just me.
I thought it was a special guest. I'm like, who's this guy?
Came back
fresh off his...
fresh off the
his
boat.
tour. Fresh off his tour in Puerto Rico.
The tour in Puerto Rico, man.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
The annexation of Puerto Rico. Little Giants.
So how was it, man? How was those blue sky? Did it rain?
So
he made it rain from what he told me. Tell us that story.
I gotta say that story.
That sounds like a story.
Yeah.
Story time.
So, first of all, the trip was great, man. Everything was amazing. The weather was great. It didn't rain until the night we were leaving.
Oh, wow.
So, and what was perfect, and we were, I don't know if y'all saw the picture of the one that I took of her at the beach at night.
It was like
you can
dark.
see that the storm's coming in. And as we're walking back to the hotel, because there was the entrance to the beach was right there. We're walking back to the hotel. It starts raining, which was bad because we were gonna fly out like in 2 or 3 hours after that. So we were like, we're good. We just Ubered.
Right.
But the weather was great, man. The water is freaking amazing. We went snorkeling on
First time? Your first time there?
it was my first time in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
I went snorkeling, and dude, you could see everything. Like we saw all these fish, we saw stingrays, we saw a bunch of stuff. It was great. Boat ride was great. We went zip lining, which is not my thing. That's her thing. So I was over here leg shaking. Everybody kept saying, "What is that noise?" This is my knees. I was like, "Golly, man!" It was crazy.
No thanks.
The longest one was a half mile.
Oh,
zip line.
How did you get stuck?
Well, I don't know. It was.
I'm glad glad you didn't find out.
Yeah.
Then, I guess.
But all that was great, man. And then we did the casino. We walked around the town and did some shopping and stuff. But the story that Kranky's talking about, man, is so we went to the casino 3 nights out of the 5 that we were there, right, or 4 that we were there. And the first time we went, broke even. The second night we start hitting right away, man. So in the first hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, I'm up like 250 on the roulette table. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me pull out right now because I don't want to waste it all, right?
Hey!
Dan Snyder? Oh. Anyway. So then...
It wasn't him!
Okay. Right. So then, we go to the slots and man, I end up hitting like another 275, 280 right away in like another hour. So basically, man, it's just flowing in. Go back to the roulette table, hit another like 200-300.
Shut the hell up.
And so I'm feeling good because at that time I'm like, waiter, right? So the guy, and here's the trick, and I think we've talked about it before. Whenever you're at a casino to get a drink, you tip the server.
Of course.
Right? But tip them good so that way they remember you.
Right. Keep coming
So
back.
when the guy came and he was like, do y'all want a drink? She's like, yeah, I'll take this. And I was like, yeah, let me have, Jack and a splash of Coke. Or just Jack. Just bring Jack, whatever.
Just bring me the whole bottle.
And he's like, okay. So before he left and came back with the drinks to tip him, I tipped him before. So I was like, here's $5, right?
Yeah.
So he went, came back, brought it. After that, bro, he kept coming back. So the second or third time I gave him another $5, so that he knew, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, the rest of the night, he wouldn't even ask. He was just coming and bringing me a drink. And he just kept dropping them, dude. Boom, boom, boom. And then I think at one point, I didn't have any low bills or singles,
Loose
right?
change, yeah.
And so I turned around. I was like, oh, man. He goes, dude, you've taken care of me today already. Like, you're good. Plus, I would tip him $1 here and there, right?
Yeah.
But I gave him the 5s at the beginning. And, dude, he was great. So to say the least, right, I'm drunk now.
No.
And so we're leaving.
Way.
We're leaving the casino, and it's it's almost 3, I think, in the morning. So we're walking back to the hotel, and she's like, "I'm hungry." So over there, besides Puerto Rican food, the way we have Mexican restaurants here, they have sushi and Chinese restaurants out there, like that, like almost at every corner.
Food trucks or actual
actual restaurants, right?
Oh,
and those people speak Spanish better than they do English. And so, we were there and so we're walking back. Well, there's a small little shop, and they sold dumplings, like the gyoza, right?
Yeah.
And so she wanted some. I'm like, all right. So we go in there, and the lady there is being rude to her. And so of course I started being rude back.
And then your Puerto Rican came out.
Yeah. So and then that's what. So and here's the thing. So we're in there, and we're kind of going back and forth. Well, some of the people in there started making comments, and so I started making comments back. So they felt like, oh, a local, like this Puerto Rican guy over here is just being rude. He's just being Puerto Rican, basically, right? Because there was a bunch of white people and other people in there, and so. This one guy, I go over there and we're just kind of going back and forth. But this one guy goes in there, I go in there and he's talking about military, the service. So I'm telling him, hey, thank you for your service. And I see he's eating. I don't know his situation. Yeah. It didn't look great. So I was like, hey, man, can I buy you food? Like, can I buy you your meal? Like, I want to thank you for your service. No, man, I'm good. I have money. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I just wanted, I just wanted a kind of a gift, like a gracious, here you go. He's like, no, man, I'm good. Well, this dumbass over here in the restaurant starts, well, you want to pay for food? Pay for my food. So I was like, oh, you want to be a dick? So I pull out the fucking wad of cash that I have, threw a 20 at him. Here's for your food. Here's 20 for your food. I just start throwing 20s, right?
You want some food. You want some food.
And so Serena's like, you basically had, because I don't remember all of it. I remember parts of it, right? So we get back to the hotel. And then I have it, and I just throw all the money on the bed. And she's like, put that away. And I was like, all right. I wanted to lay on it. But she goes, the next day, she goes, you basically had the whole restaurant hating you.
Wow.
And I was like, well, was it justified, right? Was it warranted? She was like, yeah, I mean, the lady was rude. I said, okay. Well, then all I did was stick up for you. And then other people got involved. So I said, my piece. And then we just went back and forth. And people got some free money. So fuck it. So yeah, I made it rain a little bit.
Yeah, you're making it rain out there in Puerto Rico, man.
But other than that, I mean, the trip was great. The only thing the downfall, the only thing that was bad was our flight back. When we got to Tampa, our flight was delayed. Our flight back here to San Antonio was delayed. Uh-huh. So it was supposed to be like a 2.5, 3 hour layover. It ended up being like almost a 12-hour layover because, or like 11-hour layover because the flight was delayed in Virginia. And I'm like, dude, so slept there at the airport for a little bit. We went and ate, had some drinks. I did some work on the computer, but that was the only thing. It's just that the long layover there because of the delay. Other than that, man, the trip was a success.
God, you had to spend 12 hours in Florida?
If I would have known it was gonna be that long, I would have been like, "Hey, let's go drive around. Let's go, check out some
go
stuff."
See the sights.
Yeah, but other than that, man, everything was good.
I mean, but did they tell you to leave? Can you leave? Because they don't know how long it's gonna be.
Well,
right?
see, it had an ETA, right? That the delay was gonna be till 2:00.
Ah, okay.
But they did tell another couple that was ready to leave. They were like, "I wouldn't." Because who knows if something happened where we get another flight that you're able to take and
things can change.
So we ended up not leaving. We just stayed there.
12 hours though. Man.
Yeah.
Did you feel like what's his name? Tom Hanks in that movie when
Castaway?
He was there? No, when he was in the
terminal.
Oh, the terminal. Yeah, no, man. I wasn't going stir crazy.
Did you encounter any drunk people beside yourself?
Over there? Oh,
at the airport. No, at the airport.
Oh, at the airport?
There's always somebody that's fucking drunk at the airport.
And if you don't know who it is, you.
We did, but it wasn't bad. I think the good thing too is, of course, after hitting all that at the casino, which I did lose about more than half of it.
Did you figure out how much you made it rain? Did you figure out how much?
It was less than 100, I'm sure. But we ended up losing like another 4 or 5 the next day, right? So we still broke out on top. But because we were on top, I was like, upgrade our seats. And she was like, what? I said, upgrade our seats. And this is the night that I'm drunk, right? So she's like, okay. So she said after she did, I crashed out. And she said she felt bad because she was like, was this just drunk talk? Or so the next morning, she's like, hey, were you serious about upgrading the flights? I'm like, you didn't do it? And she goes, yeah, I did. I was like, oh, yeah, I know. I was serious. She was okay. I wasn't sure if you were just drunk and didn't know what you were saying. She was. I felt bad after I did it. And I was like, because it was. I don't know how much it was, but
flying.
It was. Style. But I was like, dude, it was perfect because we boarded early. We got to sit there while everybody's boarding and big seats and just relax, and it was good, dude. So both flights, the flight to Tampa and the flight here, was
looking good, Louis. Feeling good.
So yeah, man, it was good. It was good.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. Puerto Rico, man. Man, I guess I don't not very smart, but Puerto Rico is what closer to what?
It's further than here. We were just talking about that. So when you're going down from Florida, you have to pass Cuba, you have to pass the Dominican, and then you get to Puerto Rico.
But is it closer to like South America?
Yeah.
It's closer to South America. Holy shit.
Yep.
And it's not that long of a flight. It's like a 3-hour flight.
3-hour tour.
Well, so it was like a 2.5 to 3 hour flight from Tampa.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. And honestly, man, you're so high, you don't really see anything anyways. Every once in a while, when the clouds clear, you'll see like blue, like the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And then on the way back. So my thing is, of course, I don't like heights, but flying back, my thing was flying back at night. Like, you definitely can't see anything. So we're flying at 1:45 in the morning.
If I can't see nothing, how can he see it?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that right. I was like, let me just go to sleep.
Well, that's is that considered the red eye?
No.
Midnight is considered
Red eyes are
eye,
later,
right?
like the late ones, right? Like 3, 4 in the morning.
That was one.
2.
It was 1:45, so.
Oh, is it because is it the red eye because of the sun coming up? Like it's kind of like I guess looks red.
I thought it meant that it was just a really late flight or early flight.
I thought it was like a midnight flight.
2,
That's what
3,
I thought.
4 in the morning type flight.
Yeah.
Like I thought that's what it meant. Took the red eye, because red eye.
A red eye flight refers to a flight that departs at night and arrives the next morning.
Ooh.
So that was the red eye.
Yeah,
See?
you did take the red eye. Yeah, pretty smart.
So it's the red eye because you don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And your eyes are all
bloodshot, which was us because we go to the casino, drop money, and then we're like, let's go get something to eat. So we got something to eat, and then we went to the beach and we walked the beach, and then we got to the hotel and we packed, and we were just kind of sitting there like, well, let's just go to the airport early. So we got over there and got something to drink and chilled, and then we flew out at 1:45. So yeah, it's crazy.
Bad. Speaking of Puerto Rico, so a certain person from the block has been
getting backlash right now.
Getting a lot of shit right now, and it really got to me. Okay, let me backtrack here. So it's always got to me. I have never liked Jennifer Lopez. Never, dude. I've never. Okay, she did Selena, everybody, but that's why everybody's saying, well, that's the only reason she got popular. She, and she was on in Living Color. She was a dancer on in Living Color.
She was a fly girl, right?
She was a fly girl. But and then then she did the movie, and then of course everybody was pissed off because like, well, why didn't you get a Mexican to do it? No, you got a Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a lot of backlash and all this shit. But whatever.
I mean, that made her famous, and then diddling diddy. So
diddling diddy. And who else? Who else knows who else she was diddling?
Yeah, well, I have some more stuff to say about that, but we'll get back to that.
But she's been getting a lot of shit because of
backlash,
what is it? What is? I actually don't know. I saw clips of it, but what is it that came out? That she's talking about, well, when I was on the block,
that she used to run up and down the block,
and
right?
all this, and my hair and all this stuff, and people were like, I remember you from middle school. You were not that little girl.
Yeah. Well, that one girl that you saw the video that I sent you, right? That one lady. So then I saw the high school photo that she was talking about, and they're like, yeah, you weren't that girl, man. You weren't that girl.
My assumption is she was describing the block as a hard
yeah.
hard
like
part
a ghetto,
of town.
or maybe
Yeah, but I mean, obviously she came from New Kids in the block, probably.
She came from the other side of the block.
I mean, because the school she went to was like a Catholic school, right?
Catholic school,
all girls.
Yep. All girls.
Yeah.
And you can't lie about your upbringing because you grew up with people and they're gonna call you out just like that one girl did.
Just like she did.
She did, and she went at her hard. She's like screw you, like you don't represent us, and you don't, I was like, wow. But I mean, even before that, I don't know why.
I really was never a big fan of hers either.
I wasn't.
Of course, definitely of her music because she's not talented. And
did you see the auto-tune thing,
dude? Well, they said that not only Mariah Carey but Ashanti were doing the singing for her on a lot of her tracks.
That's what I heard. I didn't.
Well, apparently I don't know if I saw it or if y'all sent it or if I sent it to y'all, but it was a thing from when she did Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah, you were telling us about it.
They posted it.
Yes.
But they posted it without her auto-tune.
Yeah.
So when they posted the clip, it sounded like shit.
It's not like Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then they quickly took it down and they put it back on with auto-tune.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's a big difference. And I'm like,
you didn't send us that one because I
No,
didn't see
I
it.
must have saw it.
I think he mentioned it, but he didn't. We didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't send the clip, but I saw it.
I should have saved it and sent it to you.
Well, because I rabbit holed after a couple of the videos. Now I'm getting all the ones that are where they're talking about her.
Yes.
Like, hey, well, I met her or didn't meet her, but she came to our theater and she came to our restaurant and like one of the stories is in the theater. She rented out a whole theater.
I saw that one
because she didn't want to be sitting next to people, so she bought 6 tickets and rented out the whole theater, and then she had to come in through the back entrance because she didn't want to come in through the front entrance because she didn't want to deal with people. And the workers couldn't see her, couldn't look at her, couldn't talk to her, nothing.
Look, as much as I fucking
and they said that this was like after what the Made in Manhattan movie or
during or at that time when that one came out.
Like she really wasn't that
it was
big. You know what I mean?
Matthew McConaughey was it?
Was that?
it?
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, was that a big movie?
No.
I think Matthew McConaughey got more publicity from that movie than she did.
She did, yeah.
But like, as much as I hate Kim Kardashian, like she's not Kim Kardashian status. Like she gets that treatment when she goes into stores. Like they'll close the whole fucking store just so she can walk around. Like, who the fuck is this? Like, she's not that status.
There's one waitress said
she's not that person.
There's one waitress said she came into our restaurant, sat down, and I walked up and she said somebody else. And she wanted another, and she was like,
she wanted another waiter.
She wanted another waiter.
That man.
And she was like, dude, what the fuck?
She was that girl was like, well, back then we wouldn't refer to as servers back then. We would refer to as waiters or waitresses.
Right.
But she said, I need another waiter.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wow.
And she goes, you mean waitress? Because I'm a waitress. But I was like, dude, that's crazy.
The other one that I saw was I don't know, maybe one of the ones y'all sent. But somebody saw her and was trying to be polite and went up to her and said, "Oh, we're big fans or whatever," and that she gave her the elevator eyes, to where she like looked up and down like, "Get away from me," and she's like, "Screw you, Jennifer Lopez! Like, who are you to treat people like that?" So,
whatever she thinks she is, it got to her head, bro. It just got to her head. So,
man, I have never found her sexy. I've never found her attractive.
Okay, I'm 0 for 2 there.
You've had a couple of nights.
I mean,
with
I
her,
find she's sexy and attractive. I mean, she's got a piece of crap attitude. I mean, just by what y'all are saying.
Well,
but I've known that before because I've heard her interviews.
Yeah,
and she sounds like snobby.
Like a bee.
Yeah,
like a bee.
Yeah. She sounds like a female version of a douchebag.
Yeah. What do you call a female version
A
of
bitch.
a douchebag? Or you add in the extra biatch.
Yeah, biatch.
She's a biatch. Well, I don't know.
She's an unstable creature.
I don't know if the Louie wants to add in on that.
So she's related,
Oh!
right? Kind of far down the line.
Prove it.
Kind of far down the line, but she
My
wasn't.
Bigfoot
So
story is sounding a little more convincing now.
we have a family reunion that we were doing every 2 years, right? And when of course when COVID hit, we had to stop it, and we're gonna redo it. But when we first started it, her family was reached out to, to invite them. And basically, it was like, and it wasn't only her, man. I'll tell you, her mom has the same freaking attitude. It was like, we're not good enough for them to be around us. And so they didn't just decline. Basically, it was like, we don't know y'all. We're like, yeah, I don't know any of my family from Arizona and California. That's why we're doing this, so we can get to know them, right? Nah, it was like, we don't know y'all.
Point of a family reunion.
You get to meet the people that you don't know, right? Nah, she wasn't having a part of it.
They're related. So she's your
It's on my mom's side.
father's brothers, cousins, nephews.
The monkey says uncle.
They said they saw Ferris pass out at 31 Flavors last night. So, wow. So, I mean...
But then I don't know if y'all saw that one. There was one clip, too, where apparently her mom won the lottery at one point. Like, her mom won the lottery at one point, like 2-point-something million. I don't know. Y'all haven't seen that one?
Nah, I didn't.
Nah.
Maybe that's why. I mean, I would have disowned y'all, too. If I don't want to. I don't know y'all either, motherfucker.
You just want my money. You just want my money.
Yeah, we were like, hey, so we're going to do... but can you help pay for... the one night of the... Yeah.
What they say, once you get money, that's when all your friends are calling back.
And all the family that you didn't know.
Family you didn't know.
Hey, cuz. Hey, what's up, cuz?
All of the family she didn't know. See,
that's my favorite cuz right there. My favorite cousin. What would she be though? Would she be a cousin?
It's like a distant cousin, yeah,
Distant
like a second or third,
Like
something like that. Yeah.
23 times removed.
Maybe, yeah. I think her mom or her mom's mom and my grandmother were like cousins or second cousins, something like that.
Wow.
So either way, we're like,
who else are you related to?
We don't claim her either. So the same way the Bronx doesn't claim her, we don't claim her either, man.
Oh, Jenny.
Yeah.
Jenny. Well, let's see. I guess I'll start off with this. So speaking of people that we, not related, but, talking about stars, I guess. Amanda Bynes. So way back, I mean, if you're from San Antonio, you are on the south side, you might know, but there used to be that Walmart, right? That was there, closed down, and this place took over. It was called Steve & Barry's, and basically they would sell clothes, and I was telling you about the Starberry thing, like Stephon Marbury had his own line
there.
And the entire thing was Steve & Barry's?
No. Well, no, it was the name of the store. It was called
inside,
Steve & Barry. No. They took it over.
No, they took over the
before
building.
It was Pick Up.
Yes.
Right.
That's what I was saying. That's exactly what happened. So they took over the Walmart when it closed, and they took over the whole thing. And they used to have Stephon Marbury had his line of clothes and everything. And well, apparently Amanda Bynes had her own line of clothes, right?
Before she went insane.
Yeah, way back. She's Dan Snyder, But we'll get into that. But no, she was still young. I mean, I think she had to have already done a couple of movies outside of Nickelodeon and all that. So I think she had to have been over 18 already.
Okay.
Because she looked good. But anyway, so I ended up meeting her actually because it was an autograph thing.
Yeah.
So we show up to the store and the line's like wrapped around the store. I'm like, well, are we gonna stand through this? I'm like, fuck it, it's Amanda Bynes. We didn't even like. It wasn't a big deal, but I'm like, fuck it, like we'll never meet Amanda Bynes. So at this point, way back when I was married, so we were there and and so we finally get up there and she's like, oh hey, and she's like, oh your autograph here. It's like, oh you want to take a picture? Yeah, it was like 15 seconds. Real quick. But and then we're leaving and basically they cut it off right after us and the whole store was still
packed with people, yeah.
And then it was like two people after us and they're like, no, we're done. Boom, and they pushed her into the car because we were leaving. And we look to the side of the building, and sure enough, there's a limo there, and the door swings open, and there she goes, running from the store into the limo, and they're like, "Choom!" She flew out of there.
And it's basically because they have a they have to, when they're doing their promoting, whether it's a book, whether it's clothing line, whatever it is, they have to do like a certain amount of time, and so they'll tell them like, "Hey, you get."
Or even autographs too. Like
autographs.
They're like, oh, you're only going to do 100. And
that's or you're only doing it for an hour
right.
and you're done.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah, the guy with the clicker or what?
I don't know. Or they had to sell it. 90. Oh, you got 10 more to go, man. You got 10 more to go. Well, of course. Well, the reason I brought that up is because getting into the big topic here is if you haven't seen it, here's what do you call it?
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Quiet on Set, it's a 4-part documentary about the Nickelodeon series of the kids shows that were on Nickelodeon. And this main guy was called Dan Schneider. So if you know, Dan Schneider he actually created Head of the Class.
He didn't. He had
that was his...
No,
I think he produced some episode. Like after he was on it for a while, I think he started producing some episodes.
He was part. Well, maybe I heard it wrong then. I heard it wrong.
I mean, he was part of Head of the Class.
Yeah. But I thought he was actually the one that kind of helped create it.
No, I don't think that was it.
Well, if you don't know who Dan Schneider is, well, you have to be our age to remember that. But he was the kid in the corner, the chunky kid.
He was the fat kid in the class.
Fat kid of the class, and he was in the corner. He was always on the computer. He always had the keyboard on his laptop, on his lap, and he was always, being a nerd, basically. But anyway, so again, if you haven't seen it, you may want to fast forward what we're talking about here. So Dan Snyder goes on. He gets hired by Nickelodeon, and he produced some of like their biggest shows.
Yeah,
iCarly.
All that.
All that.
Good Burger.
What was that one?
Good Burger, the Amanda Show.
Drake and Josh. So all those shows he produced, and basically the whole part of it. I mean, God, you have to see it. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely recommend you seeing it. But
so he was an actor on the show of Head of the Class.
Yeah, he was.
And during the show, one of the shows, they let him co-write an episode with one of his
with one of the other guys. Yeah.
And as soon as that show aired, he moved fully into just writing. And then that's how show. Well, that and then that's what transitioned him into Nickelodeon. Yeah.
So, and the thing about it was when you're watching the first part of the documentary, the girl, the writer or whoever who's got who's doing a lot of the talking. She does a lot of the talking. She says like your childhood's gonna be blown. Like
it's not the one with the tattoos in her hands, right?
I think it was the other one. I think she was wearing a pink.
The blonde.
Yeah, the blonde one. Yeah, I think she's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like your whole perception. If you were a '90s kid watching shows, you're gonna be blown away by all this shit that you hear, and that was only part of it.
Yeah,
because the rest of it, holy shit balls, man.
So I've only gone through the first 2 episodes. So. And it is already pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. Yeah. Let me tell you, I
did research. He hasn't been convicted or charged with anything yet.
What I think maybe the latest ones. Well, he didn't get convicted of something, but the latest ones, something came out though more recently.
Well, it says that he still hasn't been charged yet, but I'm pretty sure that there's charges coming.
Right. I wonder if it can be from Amanda.
Or her family.
Right, coming back and saying, because her parents were, because she went and
she tried to get
emancipated from her parents.
Well, and he was the one behind it.
So anyway, yeah, there was a lot of shit that Dan was doing on set, not with the kids. Let's make that point, because that point was brought up. You guys brought it up, and then Roxanne brought it up to me as well, and I thought, well, that's true, because a lot of the shit wasn't happening to the kids directly by him, but there was other stuff that was going on that you'll see later in the episodes that it's pretty outlandish shit, dude. Really outlandish shit, and nobody knew who the one kid was that got the brunt of it, and then it gets revealed because they talk to him and he lets it all out.
Oh wow! So.
God, I mean, I want to tell y'all. That's what I said. That's why I wanted y'all to try and see it, dude. Because what they did, right? And I don't know if Dan Schneider knew what was going on, because again, with the shit he was doing a lot of inappropriate shit with old, like with women.
Yeah,
like he would say, or because people would walk into behind the set. Scenes, yeah, they would walk into the set and they say, "Well, let me see who's giving Dan a massage today," because he would find someone to give him a massage.
Yeah, and he basically would tell people,
right,
and they would do it because
out of fear of losing their job
and credibility, and and I think he was smart by hiring people that didn't really have a lot of experience, because they felt they had to prove themselves and make a name for themselves, and they didn't want to have the reputation of they got let go.
Yeah,
so
Kranky, he brought up what was that point you said about because you were saying, why didn't they say anything? But the reason they didn't is because they wanted that cred.
Well, they
wanted that,
and even the cast members, they say the same thing.
Yeah.
Some of them were the breadwinners of their family.
Oh yeah, right? That was brought up a lot.
And so they felt that they couldn't complain because then they could get X'd out.
And the parents too.
Yep.
Well, because the actors would see that and they would right away. That was their first reaction. Well, shit! If I say something, I'm fucked. And but the parents, because some of the parents got a hint of what was going on, and their thought was like, well, shit, I can't say anything because this is for my son or daughter, and they're not going to get another chance. So Dan was doing a lot of shit.
Basically, what Usher's mom did. So
I didn't hear that
And
story.
elaborate.
Well,
you're gonna have to elaborate on that one.
So you haven't heard that she's suing Diddy now
Is she now? Well, we know what's going on with Diddy.
because he took Usher's V card.
No fucking way.
That's what's being said. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. So she was being paid. She allowed her son to go over there because his career. She was trying to get his career going, and he was having trouble with singing because of I guess he was going through puberty already. So he was 10, 11, whatever he was.
Yeah.
And which I still don't get because Diddy doesn't sing. So I don't know what Diddy was gonna do for him, but. I guess he helped his career, right?
He was gonna try it.
He was gonna try something. So there's a report that Usher was taken to the emergency room with basically an injury to his rectum. Yeah, and so the mom realized this, but how come she never said that back then? Right?
Yeah.
Why? Because she was getting paid, and because his career was gonna skyrocket. Well, now with everything that's going on, she comes out with this lawsuit, right? And it's like. But you basically sold your son to this dude. You're gonna and then already she was like, oh, I did my background on this guy.
When
so
the money runs dry.
If you knew the background of this guy, then you would know all the crazy stuff that was going on at his house, right? And even Usher says, dude, there was some crazy stuff going on at the house. But and then when they talk to Usher, he basically says, well, he's giving Diddy a pass. Like he forgave him already, and he's just he doesn't want any part of anything that's going on. Right. But the mom is taking a different route, and she's suing him. So what the reason I bring that up is because these parents, if they felt a certain way,
right?
I get that you're like, man, but this could ruin their career. Y'all talked about the mental health last week. Mm-hmm. Now you see the type of mental health issues that a lot of these kids from Nickelodeon are having.
Yeah, and that one kid was talking about.
Dude,
he's going to therapy still.
You look at Amanda Bynes now, how she went insane and crazy. And I'm sorry, man. I really feel that a lot of the stuff that they dealt with was traumatizing because they were kids.
Yeah,
they were kids, and then now having to deal with that and being like, dude, like it's like y'all talked about last week. They're reliving all that stuff.
Yep.
And even that one lady or that one girl, the one that she said where she was kind of X'd out because when they called her parents to tell her, hey, we already have a fat one. You can't be the other one. And so she replays that in her head all the time that she's fat, Yep. I mean, that contributes to the mental health.
And she was picked. This particular actress was picked. Yep. By Dan Schneider.
She was the first one that they talked about, right?
Yeah. She was picked by him, and apparently, according to her, he told her, "You're the one. Like you're gonna be the star. You're gonna be this and that and blah blah blah." And then then they realize, well, she's getting a little chunky, so they kind of X'd her out. And then she says, well, then puberty hit. Well, then everything popped out. Boobs.
Then she became a woman.
And she became a woman, and then eventually they just kind of like just shuffled her out.
Yeah. And she's the one that showed them Amanda Bynes.
Yes. Yeah, that's that.
So I wonder if she feels some
sort of way
animosity.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't know. But for that's a lot because like we don't know. I mean, there's a lot of shit that we deal with, a lot of shit we don't talk about, but like we don't know how they were, and you just said it, like just so that their kid wouldn't, be blacklisted or say, oh, well, we can't work with this kid because his parents are all over this shit.
Yeah, because then people in the industry talk and they're like, well, don't like, hire this kid. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
so, but to what extent,
right?
At to what point do you say this isn't good for my kid?
Yeah.
Right. And as a parent, you would think, man, my child's safety, my child's mental health, my child's, whatever is more important than the career. Yep. Like especially like the one that the one girl where she was getting emails from that guy.
Yep.
And eventually she just left the business because she didn't want to be a part of it anymore because of what was going on.
That guy
sends her a freaking
nigger pic and says, I'm thinking about you. And she was, what, 12?
Yeah, 11, 13, 12? Something like that. Yeah.
Dude, man. And that's like, you talk about mental health, like, where is it in these guys' mind that says that it's okay for me to send my naked self to a 12-year-old? Yeah. It's not. I mean, shit, man. How fucked up in the head do you have to be to do that shit? And it only man, I'm telling you, the episodes 3 and 4, it gets really bad. And I couldn't go into it, but I think I'd much rather let y'all go into that shit, because there is a change in the series, right? So there's 4 episodes, and then all of a sudden, dude, you fucking completely forget about Dan Schneider. You're like,
I already did.
Yeah,
after the second episode.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like
that's kind of why you go like with Dan Snyder didn't, because compared to these two dudes, Dan Snyder didn't do nothing.
He was a saint,
and he was doing it to old. I mean, okay, that not saying it makes it better.
Yeah.
But he was doing it to older people and people that were not kids, but it's not right. But I mean, yeah.
But he still wasn't doing nothing compared to what these like I guess sexually.
Yeah, exactly.
He was doing worse stuff like massages and stuff like that.
Massages
or bend over the table and
he said,
pretend you're being
he tells that lady, it would sound better if you were bent over a table pretending you were being sodomized.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Now today,
but
that would be sexual harassment. Right?
Yeah, all over. It'd be.
But yet they did an internal investigation and nothing's ever come out on him. So
Nick, and you have to question Nickelodeon though, like. But I mean, did they find out about it back then? Because nobody said nothing. The 2 ladies put that suit. Well, the one lady, and then she got the help from the other lady. But even at that point, shouldn't Nickelodeon have said, "Hey, like"?
Well, they did. They said they did an internal investigation,
exactly,
and then they basically settled.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how important was he? That was their cash cow.
Yeah,
he was making them money, but not once did they say this isn't right.
Well, I think also it goes back to the same thing, that the way the parents and the cast, the kids were. I'm pretty sure Nickelodeon felt kind of the same way, where they felt, if something comes out about this dude, Nickelodeon's gonna look bad. Mm-hmm. Not so much him. Yeah, he's gonna look bad.
Yeah.
But they're also gonna look bad because this was under their umbrella.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it just goes to show you, dude, I'm sorry, man, but for some people to say, "Oh, well, I didn't even think about that at the time." No, when you see it, it's pretty obvious. And the same way when we talk about the Disney movies, dude, it's very obvious.
Yeah.
These are kids shows, kids movies, kids whatever. And there's so many sexual innuendos, like so many, bro. Like you can't tell me that it's you don't know that there's an adult writing this.
He was seeing how far he could go. But I mean, in the skits,
were they sexual innuendos back in the day? They are now because they're pointing it out to us. Well, but back then, I didn't.
I see what you're saying.
I didn't see it like that. I wouldn't. It was the '90s, so we weren't watching Nickelodeon. We were already.
No. Well, that was already passed.
Yeah, it was
for
us.
Passed. It was already passed because that was '95 and later. So
we weren't watching.
Yeah, if I was watching Nickelodeon, it was fucking Ren and Stimpy and Double Dare.
Yes, I know it because so it was like, oh man, I used to love that show. Like I wasn't watching that. I was already older. I was already past that.
We were already on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that stuff.
Martin.
And you really figured out how old you were. Like, oh, fuck.
So I used to love to watch that show. I was like, dang. Man, do I feel like Dan Snyder right now?
We're gonna walk into their thing and she's gonna be giving them a massage. Oh man, but yeah, so later on it does get worse, and you're talking about like where should the parents draw the line? In the case that comes up later on in the other episodes, there was a parent that was trying to. He was like, don't let that guy alone with my child at all. He was there on set. The dad was there, and wherever the kid would go, he would follow. And he would go here and he would go there. And then, so he was never alone, or nobody else was ever alone with the kid. And then something happened, right? So they ended up kind of going through the divorce. Well, the predator was putting it into the kid's head. Hey, you know, we need to get your dad away, basically. Like, we need to separate your dad. So they got to the mom. So they get to the mom, and the mom starts calling the dad and says, hey, so-and-so doesn't want to live with you anymore. He wants me to take over and do all this stuff. And the guy, I got to give it to the guy, dude. He was a good dad. He is a good dad. But just because he didn't want nothing to happen to his son, he didn't want, you know, he knew his son's career was going to take off. He said, okay, gives everything to the mom, bank accounts, you know, everything. All permissions, all paperwork, he does it. He gives it to the mom and says, here you go. And he tells her, do not leave our child alone with that guy. Ever. And she does. And from that point, it's like, son of a bitch, dude.
Well, this is what I don't get, though, because in episode 1...
The dad knew.
Yeah. What I don't get is that in episode 1, one of the parents basically, and even one of the cast members basically says, the law or the thing that was written was, no child is supposed to be alone with any of the adults.
Any adult.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And
but yet you see that it does happen the entire time because the parents weren't even allowed on set for a lot of these shows.
They would lead them away into another area and say,
Yeah.
hey, let's go over here. And then, you know, they're supposed to be in school or Bible class, apparently. And even when they were going to Bible class, the dude was, one of the other guys was there.
So was he the designated priest? I mean,
oh, God.
I'm just wondering.
Was it a Catholic class? I don't know. But that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But again, you know, those were the rules and those are how it was supposed to be. And even one of the other actors says, when we were there trying to study or doing stuff, where was Amanda Bynes?
Yeah.
She was over there with Dan.
Yep.
And who knows what was going on in that.
And that's the thing that those are assumptions. Those are because they haven't proven anything or she hasn't come out to say anything. So.
Yeah. So, man, I'm telling you, it's when you start seeing that part that I'm telling you about the dad, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't the dad's fault at all. It was not. When he gave possession or when he gave all that information, all the rights to the mom fucked everything up. And he did everything that he asked her not to do. It happened. Yeah. And man, so
I'm pretty sure I'll be getting to that here tonight.
Too. I think I'm on that one right now.
Oh, it's on. I look over as a man. Kranky's TV is on. It's on right there, quiet on the set. So anyway, let me move on. So TikTok.
Let's
talk about TikTok.
Let's move on to something important.
Yeah, something a little more less gloomy. But so the whole bill thing. And I was misinformed. I didn't have enough information out of what we were talking about because we weren't even sure, where was it, what it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was barely in the House.
Yes.
So it got passed in the House. Now it goes to the Senate. So apparently it's It's got to clear that too,
Yeah.
but it's got to be passed. But again, we're talking about an app that anybody can go to.
Well, before it clears the Senate, they're giving TikTok an opportunity to do two things. One, either risk being shut down.
Right, and that's the information I didn't have.
Yeah, they have two options. One is risk being shut down, or two, they sell to a non-Chinese company because they feel that there's information that's being passed along to, or that they're getting information off of this app.
There's a lot of it, facial recognition, voice recognition, all this stuff.
Yeah, so I honestly feel that it's either going to be sold or it's going to be shut down. But guess what? Another app similar to that is going to come up and it's going to take over. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like a lot of the people are like, oh my goodness, like what if it goes away? Because something else is going to come up and take its place, and then you're going to be able to continue doing what you were doing and making stupid videos.
Well,
so
I think that was my thing last week was like, okay, well, so what if it goes away? Like, well, who? But we were talking about, okay, well, who's it going to affect? Because there are people that is their livelihood, that is how they make money. And now all of a sudden, the government's going to step in and take that away from them, So that was my point was, yeah, well, so what if it goes away? But then I'm like, well, fuck, these people ain't going to have any more money.
Get a job.
Get a job.
they were talking.
Get a job.
I was watching the one of the news, ABC or something. I can't remember what it was, but they were talking about the people that voted, right? So it passed 352 to 65. And there was 14 people that didn't vote, and then there was one that was there, and I don't know what he was doing.
He was probably on TikTok.
Watching TikTok.
He was pulling the Dan Schneider in his office.
They were talking about how companies now have, how they have like almost 5 generations of people working, right? So you have old people. So like when you talk about the House, or you're talking about the Senate, you have people that are as young, like they're in their 20s or 30s, like in their 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and then you have people that are in their 80s. So you have all these different generations,
right?
And so there were some of the younger ones that voted that were opposed to it, right? And then of course some other ones, but you had a bunch say no, but because it just had to be majority. That's why it was passed, right? Yeah, 2/3. That's right. So that's why it was passed. Now, like you said, it's got to clear the Senate first.
Yeah.
And then when it clears the Senate, then the president has to sign it, and he has to sign off on it, which he already said he was. So,
well, he could veto, but he already said he was.
Yeah, he already said he was doing it.
But that's why they're trying to make it's not gonna shut down right away. It's gonna go into when we change presidencies, dude. This president's not gonna get the chance to sign off on it if he's not reelected.
So you think it's gonna be a difference? I
think it's gonna be a difference.
So if he's saying he's gonna sign it, are you saying that the other person
if a new president comes in, he might not sign it?
Not sign it.
That's how long it's gonna take before that thing hits the president's table to get signed.
Well,
it's gonna go into a different.
But they can put timetables on it. And they can rush it.
They can,
or they can push it back.
Which again goes back to what y'all were saying last week. They're gonna rush this, but they're not gonna rush some other important freaking.
Jesus.
Forget the border.
I know.
America. I heard a story. Last week that there was some people that there's apparently a golf course. I think it was in Laredo or somewhere that's near the border, and but there's a golf course that runs along the river, and they have those.
Oh, it's El Paso.
Was it El Paso?
Yeah, they showed it on the news where you talk about where they have all the immigrants all along.
No, but it's a golf course.
Yeah,
that runs along the river, and they have those floating things.
Oh, right there.
That are right there. And that these dudes were, they're playing golf or whatever, and like that, and they look over and they see this dude. He's coming out of the water, but he's fucking bloodied.
Oh, because of this.
Because of there's razor wire. On those buoys.
Yep.
And in between or whatever.
Yeah, underneath and all that.
Sliced himself up, dude,
just to get
across.
Yeah.
And they called the ambulance. They called it, and then these dudes. I mean, they were like, "Well, fuck." They said he was all chopped up. I'm like, "Fuck, man." I mean, you're. That's life or death right there, dude.
Yeah.
Because you don't even know. Maybe if he would have got a bunch of Trumpies, they would have said, fuck him, leave him there. Just let him bleed out. Because think about it. Like, I mean, shit.
And where did you see that video at?
No.
Oh.
They told me about it. They told me it was in Laredo.
Because I was just saying, man, like, if they shut down...
It was somewhere.
If they shut down TikTok, man, where are we going to get all your newsfeed from?
we're not gonna have a show.
But speaking of... Okay, so let's say they shut it down, right? I mean, don't you think... like Instagram or Facebook would convert to more of a TikTok type, ambiance, I guess we could say, or what I'm saying,
or same.
I mean,
thing.
Instagram basically is already there with their reels.
And you could do live on there too.
You could do live on there, and then you have your reels that
and
are
reels.
And Facebook has the same thing. I think it's just that TikTok was it was just that. It was just
reels.
geared to that.
Yeah.
And it was just short videos.
Because Instagram is not really reels. It's still photos.
Right.
No,
Still,
that's the
but
main,
you
the main part of it.
Yeah, you can go to
But
reels.
the
Yeah,
main part of it, and it's like
is photos.
when you want to post a video, it's like, do you want to make a reel?
Yes.
It's like, because they're like reels. It's
Yeah.
all about reels with Instagram. So yeah, you can either post a picture, but as soon as you want to put a video, it's like, oh, make a reel, make a reel, and then you have fucking chutaros and fucking people dancing at the fucking pulga, and I'm like, come on, man.
Or it's like Facebook too. Like, do you want to post it as a photo or as a story?
Yeah.
Into your story.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
where
I mean, why they market it that way? I mean, I don't know. Why would that be a good? What's the reasoning behind it? I guess.
Like for the TikTok?
No,
Oh,
for
for
either
the reel?
one.
Oh, for reels, yeah.
Like why push it to be a reel? Why push it to be a story? Like why?
I think that's what more people want to see.
Well, because
Because it's like a quick shot.
so
like
here's
a quick shot. Hey.
So here's the thing, because the reels are, those can be seen
By anybody. Oh, not just friends.
So that's why when you're posting it, that's why people get so many likes and views, because it's being broadcasted.
True.
Rather than, hey, do you want to just put it to your story? Do you want to just put it on your feed?
Right.
Your friends are the ones seeing it. When you post a reel, now it's getting out there, and that's what TikTok. That's where they came up. It not only, you don't only have your friends that see it. Everybody sees it.
That's your
for
you.
Exactly.
And your algorithms.
Yeah.
I sent the guys a couple of videos. Wanted to change their
I didn't open it.
algorithms a little bit.
As soon as I saw Kranky say, "Why do you say that?" I said, "I'm not opening that one."
Woo! Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah, I knew that's what it was too. I was like, I'm not gonna open that.
Oh my
So
god!
the minute I do that,
Well, you know what? Keep TikTok. I'm fine with it. It's okay. Keep it. Stop letting people fucking DJ on doing lives. I'm tired of that too, man.
It's exactly. I mean, you keep it, but just weed out the people that don't need to be on there, man. There's people that don't need to be on there.
There's people with the pew pew.
Yes, pew pew DJs, cumbia dancers.
But, then speaking of that,
I think makeup tutorials, the tutorials that they do.
Speaking of that, right?
Keep my recipes on there though. I need to.
Yeah, dude, I have a bunch of those saved.
Got a lot of recipes.
Crock pot recipes.
Crock pot and everything, man.
Yeah, dude, I got a bunch of those too, man.
There's this one guy that he's always cooking drunk, dude. It's funny, man.
Is he adding beer to his? Yeah, dude, I've seen that one. I've seen that too.
He'll tell you, I'm hungover, but I'm cooking.
Wow. That's in your algorithms. I've never seen a video like that. I always get
you will now.
Yeah,
You will now. Your phone's
you will
listening
now.
now.
My phone is right here listening.
Oh, and just some feedback from last week's show. I did not go to Android, so the green was I was in the air.
That's right.
I would never go to that side. I'm smart. So
Oh yeah, here we go.
For all you Android
That's
lovers.
fine, man. Fuck you, man. But how did it feel to be an Android for a little bit then?
well, I feel like I am every single time we have our group conversation, because it's always coming out green.
Well, you're just live and let die. Live and let die.
And that's why I wasn't getting some of those when I was on the plane, because when I finally get into Wi-Fi, I'm able to get our messages, but I'm not able to get our messages because dumb Android doesn't work on Wi-Fi.
And they want to ban TikTok.
They want to ban TikTok. Ban Androids, man.
Come on.
So y'all caught me on a bad day. I got no comeback for you, man.
If Apple was smart,
Which
they
they're
would
not.
They would buy out Android and just take over their cameras.
You cannot.
And
That'll be a monopoly that will never let that happen.
I know, but
They'll never
and just
let that
take
happen.
over their freaking cameras and then just make the phone a little bit better with a better camera. That's it.
Then it'll be like fucking Batman. They turned every cell phone into a. Man. Well, anyway, quick shots. Who's got a quick shot?
I got one, man, and it happened on the way over here. So,
Well,
and it sucks, right? Because a lot of the quick shots that we have sometimes are have to do with driving.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But I'm driving over here so we can record our show, and this car starts veering into my lane. No blinker, no nothing, right? So I'm thinking, man, this idiot, right? Well, I don't think he knew what he was doing. I think he might have been on his phone, or he was occupied doing something else. Who knows? Maybe, watching some of Dan Snyder's videos or whatever.
He was watching TikTok.
But he's veering into my lane, so I honk at him, right? Because he's about to hit me. So I'm honking, and he's not, obviously he's still not hearing it, so I lay into the horn. And he finally swerves and moves over. Then I see the windows roll down.
Oh.
And so I'm like, well, I'm not scared, what, right? So I'm driving up, and he wants to start getting pissed off. And I'm like, you're getting pissed off at what you did, that I basically called you out by pushing the horn. You're getting pissed off, and then starts pointing like to pull over. I'm like, yes, pull over. Go ahead, pull over. And I'm just going to keep driving, you dumb idiot. Like, why are you going to get pissed off when you were in the wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what happened with me at the 4-way stop. Those people shouldn't have gone,
there's
right?
another feedback. So it's clockwise, not counterclockwise.
It's not clockwise.
It's clockwise.
It's the person to your right. That's
No.
counterclockwise.
The person to your right starts, and then it comes this way. It goes clockwise. And
So, but it's a 4-way stop. And
yes. Okay. So and here's the other
you
thing.
all stop at the same time.
So if y'all all stop at the same time.
So it's a person. Okay, it's a person to my right. What about the person to his right? And what about a person
exactly.
to his right?
But that's what I'm saying. But once the person goes, it goes left. Okay.
What?
It's supposed to go right.
Dude, I think it's right, man. I think it's right.
And
Who gave you that information? Did you get it from TikTok?
no, negative. I didn't. I got it from defensive driving.
Yeah, I seriously think it's right.
And it keeps going right.
Counterclockwise. So it starts from your right and goes counterclockwise.
Let's see who goes
Because
first.
what you're saying is kind of like what they did to Porky.
Yeah, because that person would have went, even though those other people.
It was their turn.
Right.
This other guy just thought it was his turn.
Yeah.
These other guys thought like you. He thought it was the left after the one on the right just went.
He zigged when you said his zag.
Yes.
We should be doing a live right now and get some feedback.
So and then you always yield to the right. Straight traffic, blah blah blah. Right turns.
Well, you yield. Okay. Well, you yield to the right. So if we get there at the same time, you yield to the right. So that person goes first. Mm-hmm. So that would make it counterclockwise.
So once your person to the right goes first, the person to his right goes next. The person to his right goes next. After that,
This says left, guys.
21, 22.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
And then, but you know what? And then it's supposed to go in order, right? But people don't do that.
They don't.
But what order?
So in the clockwise, but it's supposed to go in order, right? But what happens is you have people that say, "Well, I got here second, even though I'm across from you. I got here second, so I get to go." When it's not that way, it's whoever went first. And what they tell you in defensive driving is you let the most aggressive person make the first move, and then you go in order. But they don't do that because let's say arrived, right? So they might have arrived like almost at the same time, but this person was first, this person was second, this person was third.
Right.
It's supposed to go in order, but they're going, the person that arrived first, okay, well then now I got here second, so I'm going next.
That's what I figured too.
And
It's not. It's supposed to go in. It's supposed to go in a circle.
No, I think it's. Cause we're talking about if you're getting first. We were talking about if you're getting there all at the same time.
Right.
Now you're talking about first, second. If you get there first, second, third, then that's how you take off.
That's how you're
first,
supposed
second,
to
third,
go.
fourth.
4-way stops always operate in a clockwise direction, and this is from
phonywebsite.com.
know the rules to properly navigate at a 4-way stop.
Driving for dummies.
Real dummies.
Yep. See,
But that.
clockwise,
I
sir.
don't know, man.
Clockwise.
That doesn't. That
When we
doesn't
went,
that
when
means
we
the
went to
person
driving
on your
school,
right-
Kranky, when we went to driving school, I paid attention.
Yeah.
Although I almost did hit a car, but I paid attention, man.
No, that one time I didn't pay attention.
Well, yeah, I'm talking to these over here in the back.
It don't make sense because
It doesn't.
so the person on your right goes first. So the person on my right goes first, and then now it's my turn. It goes back this way. It gets swung back this way and like that.
Well,
that's what you're saying.
Okay, but here's the thing: it's whoever arrives first makes the first move, and then from there,
But
it
we're
goes
talking
clockwise.
about getting all at the same time.
Okay, so if y'all get the same time, that's why in the book it says you let the most aggressive driver which you can tell who that is already because either they're creeping up, they're moving, whatever. You let them make the first move, and then it goes in a clockwise rotation.
Nobody's gonna see it that way.
I'm just saying what the little guy inside the big guy's head said.
Why don't you just wait for it to turn green, and we'll be all right.
Well, so I have another question then for going off your quick shot, and we'll get to other quick shots, but I have a question. So at a green light, at a light, right, and cars are gonna turn. Are you supposed to turn before the other car that's trying to turn? So if you're trying to turn left, and the other car in front of you is gonna go right, do you turn in front of them? Or do you turn behind them?
So you're talking about at a light that doesn't have a turn signal,
right?
Okay.
I always thought the rule was. I always thought you were supposed to turn after.
Yes.
Nobody does that.
It's okay.
You mean like cross paths?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I'm going left, right,
and they're going right,
and they're gonna turn right. They're turning left
or behind?
They're turning left too, but on their side.
Yeah.
So they're turning to my right, and I'm turning left.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about crossing paths like in front or behind.
So if we're coming at each other and we both want to turn, do I turn in front of them?
No, it's
or
supposed
do
to
they
be
turn behind.
It's supposed to be behind.
Nobody does that.
Okay, you're right.
What do you mean it's supposed to be behind?
So you have two cars coming like this.
Yeah.
Instead of you're not supposed to turn like this.
Right.
You're supposed to turn like this.
Right.
And and the reason why is the same reason that they give you about how when you park on the wrong side, you don't see the people that are coming behind. If you're cutting in front of them, y'all are turning like this in front, you don't see somebody that's coming behind. So you have to pass them so you can see the car coming.
But now if that is that.
And we'll give an illustration here on Facebook.
Yeah.
So now y'all don't see my pretend cars with my phones.
That's only if you're saying that's only if there's no turn signal.
Right.
Yes.
If you don't have an arrow allowing you to turn.
Yes.
But if it's just a green light, I thought the reason why you were supposed to go behind was because what if that person had their blinker on, right, and you're thinking they're going to turn, and you turn in front of them, and they keep going straight.
Yeah, because their blinker they forgot to turn it off. Yeah,
because they're stupid,
and that's true too, right?
That does happen.
Now I'll give you another example though. So on Culebra, over there by Fast Eddie's, at the light, you both have a turning signal, and they're both blinking yellow.
So you got to yield.
At that one, nobody's gonna go around, and that's dangerous because when you're turning, everybody's trying to turn in front, and you have 3 lanes on both sides coming.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because it's so far apart, nobody's going straight and doing this.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going behind the car; they're going in front of the car.
I've always known that rule of. You have to turn behind.
All right, well, I don't know what streets y'all are driving on.
Nobody does it.
But every time I'm I see a turn signal, there's a lane for the turn signal.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
If you have an arrow.
If you have an arrow.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why does it matter if you turn in front or
well,
back?
No. If they're both, like I said, like on Culebra, you have it's 3 lanes.
Yes.
And then when you get to a light, there's a turning lane.
That's a perfect example.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have
Culebra
3 lanes.
What? Hold on.
Culebra, right there where Fast Eddie's is at. Were you just there?
Yes.
So
I have my paper here. Draw it.
So you have 3 lanes and 3 lanes, and then you have a turning signal, a turning lane, and a turning lane, right? So when you're going, if you're going in front, you both have a yellow blinking light. So if you're going, you can't see who's coming behind that car because it's in the turning lane, and they're waiting to see too, like who's gonna go. So if you start going and creeping up, that's why there's so many accidents right there at that intersection, because everybody's just taking it, and there's cars coming that they didn't see that were behind a vehicle.
Well, if you can't see cars coming, then you're stupid.
So just this Sunday,
because you can see cars.
Just this Sunday, when I went, I'm gonna tell you, there were 2 vehicles in that turning lane, and one of them was a big 2,500 freaking truck
big
that's on lifted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I can't see past this dude, right?
That's right in front of you.
Yeah, I can't see because he's on this turning lane, I'm on this turning lane, and we're about to turn, and I'm like, man, I can't see. So I'm waiting for this dude to go ahead and go so I can I can see after him. He turns, and there's another freaking truck the same side. I'm like, this guy.
But see I think what he's missing is the fact that there is enough room that you don't have to turn.
You don't have to turn behind.
Oh, yeah.
So there's enough room for this car to go this way without a problem. And then there's enough room for you to turn left without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So the area that I'm talking about is down Nietzsche's.
Oh,
Roosevelt and VFW.
VFW, yeah.
So there's a light. If there's no turning lane, there's no green. There's no green arrow, left green, yellow arrow, whatever. So everybody is either going straight or they're going to turn on both sides. And every time everybody always turned in front. Everybody always turned in front,
and you're supposed to turn behind.
Because you're supposed to turn behind.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm. But see, what I think what you're saying, like in that situation, it's different. But in what he's talking about, there's enough room between for you to turn without having to go behind the person. You know what I'm saying?
Right there, what you're talking about, there's not enough. That's a small.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
And that's why
you would have to turn in front. I would.
But that's why you're not. Everybody does that, but you're not supposed to.
Yeah. You're supposed to do that, but nobody does it.
Yeah. I never knew that, and they never taught us that.
They didn't teach
in
that.
driver's ed. So I
don't know where y'all went.
Or we slept through that part.
That's like Bigfoot.
I don't know.
It don't exist, man.
Yeah. Just like Louis' relationship to J-Lo, that doesn't exist.
Louis' relative.
But I did meet Amanda Bynes, and she wasn't.
I wasn't fucked up. I haven't seen the picture.
She wasn't fucked up, but yeah,
I didn't see the autograph or the picture. So
Big Biffum might start being more believable now, more than Louis' J-Lo relative.
He was related to the block.
Oh
my god, dude!
Oh man,
I got it. Well, I guess we got to go into my quick shot. Well, we don't have to. Kranky, you want to go?
I mean, I don't really have a quick shot, man. I just have more of an epiphany, I guess.
That's right.
It was
stovetop. The light bulb went off.
Because I was thinking the other day, and I said, when people say, 20 years ago, right away I go to the 90s.
Exactly.
Like the late 80s, maybe early 90s. And it's not 20 years ago.
So your mind hasn't left the early 2000s.
It hasn't.
I'm the same way.
I do the same thing too, man.
For real.
So then I started thinking about how people say that life, before you die, life flashes. Your whole life flashes right before your eyes, right? And I'm thinking I think this is like life flashing before our eyes, because look how old we are already, man. Dude, we freaking
near 50.
Yeah, and then the thing. And I think the reason why I go straight to the 90s when they say, 20 years ago is because I really don't remember my 30s, dude.
Which would have been the 2000s.
Which would have been the 2010s. 2000 between 2000 and 2010.
Right.
Yeah. I don't really remember that,
dude,
man.
Man, I have to fucking agree with you, dude.
I
really do.
I don't remember a lot of it either. I don't. Maybe it was just because there wasn't much really going on, but
I guess because that maybe the 90s were part of us growing up, and those are the times that maybe we remember the most. Because that was our shit. We were molded.
Yeah,
in that decade.
And when you think about it, like when they make shows or movies or whatever, and they're thinking back, you never see people think back in their 20s.
No,
or in their 30s. They always go in their childhood or their early teens or late teens. The wonder years. I mean, when you think about that, this person talking about, oh man, back when I was a child or when I was a kid, because those are the memories that you have. The 20s and 30s, we had 2 goals and that was it.
Man, let me tell you, I don't remember anything.
Did we reach them? No, I don't.
Not on time. I don't remember anything after 23. I think, dude. And
you can't. It's hard. I mean, that's exactly. You can remember, your childhood and certain things you remember from your.
But
childhood.
in 2012, we went to Wrigley.
Yes, that's. You remember like little things like that.
Yeah, like small. Yeah,
small things. But I can't remember fucking. I can't remember anything else from that year.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I don't remember anything else that year either.
For me personally, the 2004 to 2010 was pretty much the time that I don't want to remember.
Yeah.
It was just a part of my life that, it wasn't like, fucking bad, but it's just like, man, if I could have redid that, That part.
Yeah.
Not my childhood, not going to high school, not, you know, even the time that we just got out of high school and it was Joe's Volcano. Like, that, like, I don't regret any of that. But there was a certain part of my life which happened in that decade.
In that era, yeah.
That era that, man, I wish I'd not happened. I mean, he always tell you, oh, well, don't live, you know, with regret and all that. So I'm like, well, if I kind of regret that time because, like, man, I could go into it, but one little thing that happened, if that one little thing would have happened, I think that time, the 2010 would have been completely different. Just one thing.
Yeah.
Just one thing. It had been different. And one thing, if I didn't go to one place, and then if I didn't go to if I didn't do what I did the next night, different. Completely different.
Your life took a different. It would have taken a different turn.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been completely different, completely. And it's like, I don't know if that's regret. I don't know if that's
but that's everything, man. It's not just that day. I mean, it's everything. It's like if I didn't walk into the store, maybe, you know, this would have gone different if I didn't go to the store. Instead, if I would have just gone straight there,
could have still I could still changed it.
What do they say that's called? Like in Back to the Future, what do they say it's called when you go and change the timeline when he goes back? You know, and it alters time because he did something different that day.
Right. Back
in 1950, when he went back in 1955 or whatever, and changed the whole,
yeah.
You know, when he brought the sports book back in part 2,
right.
He changed the whole thing because they went back and changed it something different. So it's not just because, you know.
Because it still could have been changed.
It still could have.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could have been changed, but honestly, I see what you're saying where you're like, well, you know, you don't want to live life with regrets, but there's some things that you do regret. And I think that's everybody. Everybody regrets something, right? But I think you just the kind of the same way y'all talked about last week with the mindset. I think you just have to keep the mindset or have that mindset saying it still molded you in a certain way, and maybe it wasn't a great time of your life, but it molded you to know what mistakes not to make again, or molded you to be better in maybe that area. And it helped kind of prepare you for the next journey that you had after that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing is that people, they don't have that mindset. And if they hold on to that regret, that also is another mental health issue because you're carrying that and you're not letting it go. You know what I mean? You're holding on to something. And then when it's time, it's like, dude, it's like a release and it's like an eruption and sometimes it's not a great thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I think just trying to, and I know it's hard to see positives in certain things, but I think it's seeing it. The only way to see it positive is to say, well, I grew from that rather than, I wish that never would have happened. Because there's some things I wish would have never happened too. But I think you grow from it and you learn from it. And as long as you learn from it, I think, you know.
Is it learning or is it an acceptance?
Yeah, because I don't
so
know.
you're accepting what
happened.
And did you learn from it?
Well, that's true.
Because you do it again sometimes.
Because we just like
sometimes you do it again.
Because you do it again
and again and again.
But I'll just do it a little different this time. You know.
I won't say those 3 words.
Damn it! I should have stopped after that second shot.
That's why people just continue getting married. You know. And it didn't work out this time, the first time. This time I'll do it again, but I'm gonna do it different. It didn't work out again, but okay. This time I'm gonna do it different than the first time.
They're on their fourth one.
Are you talking about the block? Are you talking about Jenny?
She got more rings than the Cowboys.
It's not Jenny from the block. It's Jenny with a different cock every couple years.
Well, not different because she went back to Mark Anthony once. She went back
Ben
to Ben
Affleck
again once. Like after, she's just rotating the
Maybe she might go back to A-Rod.
She's recycling. She's recycling.
She's already been through the whole
block.
Yeah. So now she's back at the beginning again.
She's been around the block.
Hey, so she's running back and forth the same block, though, man. Golly.
She's already been around the block, so she's going around again.
Oh my god,
Telling you.
dude, that was good.
Because she didn't remember her 30s. So
yeah, exactly.
She don't remember her 30s.
She's redoing it.
She remembers 20 years ago. And, yeah. That was actually a good one, man. That's because I feel it's so weird. We're in 2024, and I always go back to whatever happened when we were in school, or the 90s, or even the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, that always goes back to that. But you don't realize, dude, that's 30 years ago. The 80s was 40 years ago. The 70s was 50 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 48. 2 years, I'll be 50. Like, come on, man. Like, that's
as long as you're getting there before me.
Years, dude.
As long as you're getting there before me.
Hey, I don't look a day over 40, bitch. Oh, my God. Wow. I was going to say my quick shot, but I think I'll hold it because I think we'll end right there, man. Because that was a good one. That was a good question. That's, I don't know. Maybe for me, maybe it's not regret. I think maybe it is acceptance. And I think that's why I said it. Because I think it's more of like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily a regret because I didn't stop there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I kept going. And, and I think that's what we all did. We all went through some shit, and I think we all, like you said, kept that mindset. And it's like, man, just gotta fucking keep going, dude.
Yeah.
Because like another reason why I say this is we're living life. We're living like it's flashing before our eyes right now because you don't know when it's gonna end. Yep. I mean, some people didn't make it out their teens. Yeah. Some people didn't make it out their 20s. Some people didn't make it out their 30s.
Isn't that crazy?
We're lucky enough to be where we are now, but what's ahead?
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think the most important thing to think about now is, well, just keep living.
Yeah.
Right. Sabrina was sharing with me about a friend who's battling a disease and they're scared, and she said, I get it, but don't stop living, because if you do, then you're not going to experience certain things because you're like, well, I'm pretty much done.
Just gave up.
Right? I'm giving up. And whether you beat this and can say, hey, man, and I still have memories of that because I continued living, or you don't, but you continue to not only make memories because, of course, you're going to be gone, but you're making memories with somebody else or for somebody else.
Yeah.
And you just continue living, man. I think that's, you're right. You're right, Crank. Like, we don't know what's ahead. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, next week, next year. But I think the most important thing is, well, you just keep living and just keep living as if, honestly, it's like living as if tomorrow is your last day. Just keep living.
Yeah.
Just keep doing.
Livin.
Hold on, let me write that down. Livi. Oh, living.
Living. Come on, man. You know where that's from.
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
Louie
Sure.
Doesn't even.
I'm trying to remember. Where is that from?
For Dazed and Confused. That's Matthew McConaughey, man.
Yeah.
All right.
You just gotta keep living.
You know how they
Livin.
You ever seen fucking TikTok? I could keep going on fucking TikTok because those dumbasses, and I don't give a shit. Fucking TikTok took down one of my videos because. I'm guessing because it said Pornhub on it. Because if y'all don't know, I mean, you might have got your porn blocked here in Texas if you go to Pornhub because they blocked the shit, right? So I thought I'd be funny, and I create a little, TikTok thing, and I created it and I put it up there, and then they fucking took it down because it violated their community rules and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay,
no,
well,
but
why?
what did they say? Because there was...
Yeah, they said that there was a sexual act between people going on. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It was a green screen with Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, you motherfucker. Like, that's what it was. And I think the whole thing, I'm guessing, because it said Pornhub on the top.
Yeah. Well, like Kranky said, if you would have just put corn instead of porn,
well, I didn't know.
It might have still stayed there.
Is that kind of like not because it said porn, either Pornhub? not because it said porn, it had the word porn in it, but like it said Pornhub. Is that kind of like a
advertisement?
There you go, and they would get sued, maybe.
Well, if that's the case, they didn't take it down for that reason.
Okay.
Well, that's not the reason
That's not the reason they gave me.
you.
And
That's
I even
right.
appealed it. There's a little button up there. I'm like, oh, it says appeal, right? I hit appeal, and it says like, okay, it gives you options like this shouldn't have been blocked because of whatever, right? And I clicked on it, and it's like there's no sexual anything going on in this video like that. And then they said your appeal was denied. And then on the video it says taking I don't know how to fucking word it, but it says like taking down sexual act between two people. I'm like, what?
Ridiculous.
Like, fuck you, TikTok. God damn it, man. We, as much as we talk about you on this fucking show, and you do that to me. Come on, man. Anyway, we should have just ended on Kranky's thing. Now I'm all
No, you're riled up.
doom and gloom.
Part 2 in 15 minutes.
Let's all go to the lobby. All right, man. Well, anything else? Nothing? No party shots? All right, man. Well, I guess we'll end it right there. Thank you guys for listening. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.